Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah. What's that?
Well, it's this question. What can popular shonen anime characters, the big ones, actually teach us about masculinity?
Ah, right. Yes. We've been looking at this really fascinating source. It's a YouTube video, actually.
Okay.
And it makes this compelling case. The characters like Luffy from One Piece, Naruto, Deku from My Hero Academia.
The usual suspects.
Exactly. That they embody a very specific kind of masculinity. One the source calls, well, beautiful.
A beautiful masculinity. Huh. That's an intriguing way to put it.
It is, isn't it?
So our mission for this deep dive, then, is to sort of unpack what this video is getting at.
Right.
We're going to explore this idea of an alternative masculinity it presents, one that, maybe moves away from some of the more traditional, or even, as the video says, toxic ideas we sometimes see bandied about.
Yeah, exactly. We'll look at the key attributes the analysis highlights, which it breaks down into three main pillars.
3 pillars. Okay.
And honestly, there are some surprising examples and maybe connections you haven't quite thought of before. It's pretty insightful stuff.
All right, I'm ready. Let's jump in. So the video lays out this framework, focuses on several key attributes. What's a first big idea it highlights about these heroes?
Okay, so the first pillar is really centered around their almost uncanny ability to make friends, to form connections.
Right.
And tied to that, a really deep sense of empathy. The analysis argues that pretty much every major shonen protagonist has this standout trait. People are just drawn to them.
Yeah, you totally see that.
They're just incredibly good at building genuine friendships.
Oh, absolutely. Luffy, right? Starts small but ends up with allies everywhere. Naruto goes from being totally ostracized to, uniting basically everyone.
Yeah.
Deku, starting with no power, inspires heroes and regular people. Their power levels are all over the place, background's totally different, but that connection thing, it's constant.
And the video really digs into why. Why are they so good at this? Okay. It argues that this, connection superpower, it comes from just outstanding kindness, a genuine, almost radical care for other people. They often put others' needs way ahead of their own, and they don't just wait around. They actively reach out. They try to understand people, break down barriers,
Yeah, they make the effort, and the analysis points out something pretty striking about how far that empathy goes, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just for their buddies. They've often showed this incredible compassion, even for their enemies, their antagonists.
Right. Like Tanjiro in Demon Slayer. He actually cries for the demons he has to kill because he gets their backstory, their tragedy.
Exactly. Or Deku. Even after everything Shigaraki does, he struggles with the idea of killing him. He sees the damaged person underneath. And Naruto, talking down pain. The guy who just flattened his village and convincing him to bring everyone back. That's wild.
It really is something else.
Or even Mob Psycho 100. He's always trying to understand the villains, sometimes even turning them into allies, like Dimple.
So these aren't just moments of pity. They actually change where the story goes. It's way more complex than just beat the bad guy.
Totally. And the video draws a really sharp contrast here with another type of hero we see a lot, maybe more in some Western stuff, the lone wolf.
Ah, yeah, the guy who works alone.
Right. The analysis suggests that's a common trope.
Yeah.
The male hero who's isolated, maybe struggles with connection, or even actively pushes people away.
You know the type. Grudgingly accepts help, pushes friends off before the climax, only for them to dramatically reappear later.
Exactly that. And this is where the analysis connects it to, the real world.
Oh.
It links this sort of fictional lone wolf ideal to some pretty serious issues, things like male isolation and worrying statistics around male suicide rates.
Wow. Okay.
The argument being made is that when we devalue connection, kindness, forming friendships in men, it's not just a story choice. It might actually be hurting men by undermining crucial support systems.
That's a heavy point. It makes sense, though, doesn't it? We're social beings.
We are. And this idea that, real masculinity means being some kind of self-sufficient island. The analysis says that's just incredibly damaging. It's not how humans thrive.
So these anime characters offer a different picture.
A counter-narrative, yeah. They're heroes, they're strong, powerful even, but they almost never fight alone. They lean on their friends, they get support, and sometimes their friends rescue them.
And importantly, the video stresses that needing help, accepting it, it's not shown as weakness in these stories, is it?
Not at all. Often it's seen as admirable. It shows the strength of their bonds. It's realistic to nobody can handle everything alone.
Right.
Which kind of leads us naturally into the second pillar the analysis identifies.
Okay, what's that?
Loyalty and protectiveness. Now, protectiveness, that's often seen as a traditional masculine thing, right?
Sure.
But the analysis presents it in a specific, positive way. It's different from just being aggressive.
And you see that loyalty everywhere in Shonen. Gon and Kahlua and Hunter x Hunter. They do anything for each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Luffy literally declares war on the entire world government for a friend, liberates whole countries because his friends were hurt or threatened.
Yep. And Yuji in Jujutsu Kaisen, his whole driving force is basically wanting to save people, help others.
So how does the video distinguish this from, say, just violence driven by anger? It mentioned that, right? Pushing back against a certain trope.
It does. It specifically contrasts it with that hurt loner hero type. The guy whose main motivation seems to be just like a revenge rampage after losing someone.
Ah, okay. So it's framed as just undirected rage.
Kind of, yeah. Whereas with these anime guys, the analysis argues the loyalty and protectiveness go much deeper than just the fighting.
How so?
It's about being there through everything. The good times, the bad times, the joys, the sorrows. It's about helping friends achieve their dream.
Ah, right.
It's about actively trying to bring happiness and well-being, not just, payback.
The example the video used from One Piece, the Wano arc with Luffy and Tama, that really drove this point home, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that was a perfect example. Luffy lands in this place, totally suffering under the tyrant, Kaido. He meets this little girl, Tama, who's living in just extreme poverty.
Yeah.
Starving.
Yeah, I remember.
And when she shares her tiny bit of rice with him and they get sick from polluted water, Luffy's reaction isn't just generic must-beat bad guy anger.
Right.
His whole motivation to take down Kaido, freaking Emperor of the Sea, stems directly from seeing her suffer her hunger. And he makes a promise, right, to create a country where she can just eat whenever she wants.
And the payoff of the whole arc isn't just Kaido getting punched, it's seeing the land freed, and specifically seeing Tama and the villagers finally eating while celebrating.
Exactly. The core motivation, the source argues, is that loyal, bringing joy, bringing relief.
Yeah.
All rooted in that initial empathy for someone's suffering.
Yeah.
And that focus makes those simple one-dimensional villain stories almost impossible because the hero's drive is so personal and tied to positive outcomes for real people.
Okay, so we've got deep friendship, empathy, and this kind of loyalty focused on what's the third piece?
The third pillar defining this beautiful masculinity.
Right, the third one. This one challenges another really common and frankly pretty harmful idea.
Which is?
The whole boys don't cry thing. The idea that men shouldn't show emotion or that anger is basically the only acceptable one for them.
Oh, yeah, that old chestnut. Because obviously men feel the whole range, just like anyone else. Joy, sadness, fear, confusion, all of it.
Exactly. And the video really celebrates how these shonen heroes show these emotions openly, without shame. When they're happy, they jump around, they shout. If they're scared, they might tremble or hide. And crucially, the analysis makes a big deal of this. When they're sad or overwhelmed, they cry. Like really cry.
Which is a big contrast to that limited stoic emotional range you sometimes see elsewhere, right? Where maybe all you get is that single tough guy manly tear.
Totally. The analysis really pushes back hard on the idea that showing vulnerability, especially crying, means you're weak.
Yeah. It brings up that example from Solo Leveling Song Jin-woo. He's this incredibly powerful, usually stoic character.
Right.
But when his mother finally wakes up from this long coma, he just breaks down, full-on tears. The video calls it ugly crying.
I remember that scene. And the video mentions some fans, particularly Western fans, didn't like that, felt it made him seem weak or something.
Yeah, exactly. And the analysis uses that reaction to kind of highlight what it sees as a really warped view of emotional strength. I mean, why wouldn't someone, even a super powerful dude, weep with relief and joy when their mom miraculously recovers?
Yeah, that seems pretty human.
Right. The video argues expressing that deep, real emotion doesn't make him weaker. It makes him more human, more relatable. It actually builds empathy with the audience, showing the depth of his feeling. And that depth is a kind of strength, not weakness.
Okay, so bringing these three pillars together, the empathy, the connection, the loyalty centered on well-being, and this open emotional expression. The analysis suggests these anime guys basically embody being, well, genuinely nice guys.
Pretty much. Kind, helpful, prioritizing friendship, cheerful, actively bringing joy, almost altruistic, deep. That's the picture the video paints.
And maybe that's a big part of why they're so popular globally. We root for them not just because they're strong or win fights,
Right.
but because we're drawn to those qualities. We want to see kindness and empathy win out over cynicism and isolation. If these characters actually won't completely, the worlds they'd build would be based on those values.
Yeah, this beautiful masculinity, as the source puts it. It's a model where traits that often get pushed aside, empathy, kindness, vulnerability, relationships, aren't just there, they're actually the source of the character's strength and appeal. It showcases qualities that are just valuable for anyone, regardless of gender.
Of course, we have to remember they are fictional characters, aspirational figures.
Absolutely. But the video makes a strong case that they offer really compelling positive models.
A different way masculinity could look.
Yeah, suggesting a path that embraces traits, leading to healthier relationships, stronger communities, maybe better personal well-being too, countering those old stereotypes that men have to be stoic or isolated or just defined by aggression.
So as you think about this deep dive, wrapping it up, what does this analysis really give us? It's a specific way to look at masculinity through these huge global characters, isn't it?
Definitely.
It kind of makes you reconsider what traits we value, maybe what we overlook when we think about strength or success.
And it leaves us with that final thought from the video, which I found quite compelling. Just contemplating, what if we aspired more towards these qualities ourselves?
Yeah.
Practicing more kindness, extending real empathy, trying to see the good in people, letting ourselves be vulnerable sometimes. Could that actually offer real benefits, not just in fiction, but in our own lives, how we connect with the people around us? What might actually change if we prioritize that stuff?
That's definitely something to think about.